God, it sound like I'm in the army or something like that. State your name. Oh, I am Private. Blah blah blah.
Right. Private
um,
sergeant something.
all right. So right. No. Okay. So hey, I am Saul or Lord Saul. I am from originally I'm from born in Evansville, Indiana. Was raised for like probably 6, 7 years, and then I moved all the way to Dallas, Texas. I'll just put it like that. Me and my family we moved to Dallas, Texas. A bit younger. Kind of help a little bit, or you want some more info?
Oh, just everything you could share.
So everything I can share. So I mean, I'm not gonna give you my whole life story, but
But
yeah.
if you
So
want to, it makes the interview more interesting. So,
I got you. I got you.
mm,
So besides that, we moved. Me and my family, my mom and my brothers, my four brothers, we moved to Dallas, Texas. After for a certain kind of time, of course, we grew up and all that other kind of stuff. And as I started progressing to get more into music and I started venturing out. We started moving. I started moving out, moving along. I've lived in states like Chicago, Mississippi. That's where we lived in Virginia. Uh, I think from our previous interview, we discussed, and I think I told you that Navy brat. So lived all over. So I've lived in cities and in states like North Carolina, South Carolina.
mm,
Um, Depending
okay.
on visit, visiting my home. That's I will never forget that house in Virginia Beach that we used to like. Yeah, I got to go back.
Yeah. What part of Virginia was it
So
at?
it was off the Navy base. I have to ask my father what was the exact address.
Mm,
'Cause like I said, we were young at times, so um, all I can remember is this big, huge two-story house. This open land in the background. Oh my gosh, we had so much land. Um, and it was literally off the beach, off the Navy Center or whatever you can call it.
mm.
So yeah, we lived on what do you call it?
The base.
We lived on the Navy base. Yeah.
Mm.
so but it was beautiful. It was beautiful. That's all I can say. It was
Yeah, I
beautiful.
was like, Virginia's like the home of like military stuff. So it's like they better have like the best living standards for like military families. You know what I'm saying?
Oh my
They're like the
gosh,
home of
it
everything.
was the best. Again, it was the best. I
Hmm.
mean, I said this huge two-story house, not including the basement, but
Hmm.
this huge two-story house. And yeah, I can't remember some of my report cards though, because I used to get in trouble. I was a class clown, um, and I would come home with a whole bunch of down faces, which was not happy faces. They were sad faces. I have to always take these to my parents and stuff like that. And that's another story right
Yeah.
there.
They used to have like the stickers, right? It used to be like the stickers are like the
Yep.
and then they used to have the little
Yep.
stars too. I remember that as a
Yep.
kid
Yep.
myself. Oh my gosh.
Yep. 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 So I only remember that because there was one time I got in trouble. I got sent home with the sad face.
Hmm.
Again, it was a brown sticker, and came home. And of course, they lecture me and all that other kind of stuff. But they're like, "You don't even do your spelling right." I'm like, well, I know some words. And this is the one that got me. They said, "Spell of." UV. Oh, that tells me you're not paying attention.
Oh my
And then it
god.
was straight out discipline right there. I'm like, hey, this little 6-year-old, 7-year-old, whatever. But
Said
yeah, that's how
of.
it went.
I
So,
mean, but low key,
yeah,
that's
I
kind
know.
of how you spell of, though.
Right. At least I used my ears and try to connect but
Yeah.
whatever.
It is what it is. English is a confusing language. I still don't speak it correctly, and I'm an English speaking person.
Yes, yes, yes. You have to. You're like a journalist or something like that, right? So,
Yeah,
or
well, I mostly just do the video editing and stuff like that and photography, but
okay.
all that writing and speaking in English, I'm like, y'all don't want me to be on
English.
the news messing up words, splitting verbs and stuff, half sleep talking backwards early in the morning. I
Right.
can't
They
do
were
it.
riding down the street on the fofo.
You on the
It's like
fofos,
what?
got them rims on, like rolling up.
Oh
Like no,
man.
that would be
Yeah,
wild.
that's I saw this podcast. This lady said, I can't even remember what did she say. She said POD representing something like that. I was like, oh my
What in
gosh,
the
no,
world?
don't talk like that. You making us look bad.
Yeah, like
You making
just
us
talk professional, clean, smooth English. The King's English.
right,
I mean, the Queen's
right,
English,
right.
whatever.
I got you.
But anyways, what initial? I don't know how we got all over to this, but
And see, that's how we do.
yeah,
That's how
this
we
this
do.
is exactly why I have the questions to keep me on track because I'll get distracted and forget all about the questions, start asking like other stuff. But
Right, right. That's what my wife was. She's like, y'all are like best friends. Like y'all just known each other forever. And I'm like, well, we just kicking it.
yeah, it's
You
wild
know?
though. Some people you just have that immediate click with, and then other people you
Yeah,
have to
right,
warm
right,
up to them.
right, right, right.
But
Um,
what
um,
what initially got you into music
so honestly, this is gonna be funny too. Uh, this is when we moved to Evansville, Indiana. I mean, when we went back to Evansville, Indiana from Virginia Beach, right? And my father came home, and this might remind you of Jackson Five. I don't know. Have you seen that? The,
Oh, Jackson 5
the
American
little
Dream. I've
yeah.
seen that movie like 10
So
times. Yeah.
I love that movie. I
Yeah.
grew up watching that movie, but that's pretty much how it was. My father came home, all this music equipment. Came home with this big old bass guitar. He had this keyboard, drum set, some other guitars and stuff like that, and all this recording equipment. And we're just like, wow, you know what I mean? It's just like, that's cool, And he's like, well, this is for you. And so he gave me my first instrument to play was the bass guitar.
Hmm.
Now, was I like rocking and killing it on? No, no. He showed me how to play one riff, and that was the theme from Batman.
Mm.
I don't know if you remember that show,
Like,
but
"Dun-dun-dun-dun-dun, Batman.
yep, that's exactly. He showed me how to play that, and that was it. And I wanted the drums because I'm like, that's cool. I like that. Got the drums, and he made us play at church for the praise and worship thing or whatever. Like I said, I only knew that one riff. So during every song, it's dun 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 dun
Oh, snap.
dun.
Playing the Batman
It
theme
just
song in church.
for everything,
Yeah.
for everything.
Oh,
So you
man.
just the tempo just went fast or slow. That's it. So on
Hmm.
the slow song, it was dun 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 dun. But yeah, that's how he pretty much I got started, and then I literally went to drums.
Hmm.
Because my brother, who was number three, was supposed to be playing drums, and he wasn't showing any kind of. He was, I think, telling my age. So I'm just gonna skip that part. But he was supposed to play the drums and stuff like that. But I took more interest in drums than the bass guitar. And as soon as I started playing, it's like everything just sparked. And so the next following Sunday, yeah, Trey, you're gonna be playing. You play drums.
Mhm.
Cool. So I'm playing with my father. You know what I mean? He's on the organ, playing organ, and I'm playing drums, and we just run praise and worship service there.
Wow.
My other brothers just sat in the background, played their little keyboard in the background and stuff
Mhm.
like that. But, yeah, yeah, yeah. It was. I remember that.
That
But that's
sounds.
how
Mhm.
I initially got started.
That
What'd you say?
sounds just like the piano player at my church. Like
Hmm?
he plays the piano and then he has a son now playing the drums. I'm like, that's so ironic. It's like kind of like the same thing, or like we're at my church like now.
Right,
His son's
right.
probably like late teens, teenage years or whatever. But yeah, that's dope. Like your father was invested in getting y'all into music. I guess he might have saw something early on in y'all, how much y'all might have liked music or whatever, and bought y'all the equipment maybe.
I'm guessing. Now, what I am gonna say is that's not being funny, but that's our history. That's a lot of our history. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Not just my family, but a lot of us, what would you say, the Black American. You know what I mean? If
Oh
you're in
yeah, Black
church,
American history just.
yeah, yeah, you're gonna do church stuff. You're gonna play church music. You're gonna do something musical. And if your father is a musician, then you're gonna be a musician. It don't always turn out that way, but you know, in this case, it turned out that way.
I mean,
My father was a musician. He was heavily into music. He was a DJ, a radio DJ, or what do you call those
disc
who
jockey.
do the
Oh well, that's the
disc
same
jockey?
thing.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So he did all of that. He was doing disc jockey for like country music stations, and then went over to the classic rock um, radio stations and stuff. So like he had a good amount of history in music, and it wasn't just gospel music and
Mm.
all that. He grew up with a whole bunch of musicians, mainly my grandfather who passed, probably I won't say about 70 or something like that. Um, he was a saxophone player,
Mm.
and I mean he can get down, So the music's always been in our DNA or deep our blood.
Mm.
My mom, she was an amazing singer, and I know everybody wanted to be like, "Oh, my mom is blah blah blah," but everybody could compare my mom's voice to Whitney Houston. You know,
Mm.
they did not look alike, but they sung alike. You know,
The
and
vocals were there.
yeah, it was there. Again, that's just in our genes.
Mhm.
Especially if you go to, I think Whitney Houston was a church woman too, or something like that,
Yep.
if I'm not mistaken.
She grew
So,
up singing in the church first.
yeah, yeah. My mom, she grew up singing in the church.
Mhm.
And then ironically to say, she was the pastor's wife, which was my father.
Mm.
And yeah, it's so a lot of my roots started out in that church.
I feel that. I feel like church is kind of like a university for musicians, like the first form of
Uh,
like a university for musicians to like
right.
really learn music and stuff. Cause they like, and like you said, it's like if the dad is a musician, more than likely the kid is gonna be involved in music in some type of way, shape, or form.
Right.
'Cause my grandfather, he was a gospel singer and used to play the guitar a little bit,
Mhm.
mostly a gospel singer. But he also liked country music too. And
Right.
then my dad, he was into hip hop, rapping, stuff like that. And then I grew up singing like in the church choir and stuff. And like I used to like watching the piano player like play the piano. So as I got into like music production, I would copy his hand movements. So I would be watching him when
Yeah.
I'd be in the choir and trying to come home and like play it on like the piano or whatever. But I'm telling you, like church is like your first exposure to music on like music on a professional level by watching other experienced musicians.
Trying to hold back my laugh. I'm picturing you in a choir robe. Singing.
Oh man, like it's wild. We used to have to wear choir robes, and then as we got older, they like my church, they like kind of let go of the choir robes. But like when I was a kid, like from like maybe 5 or 6 on up to like
Mhm.
8 or 9, we had to wear choir robes.
Wow.
Yeah, that was now it's not no more. Everybody's want to wear what they want to wear.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it's too dang hot for that. You know
I
what I
know, like
mean?
oh
And
my
then you
god.
got to be hours in the church, and
Like I
nobody
could
got
do
time
it.
for
I
that.
liked it during the winter time because it would keep me warm. But during the summertime, no, no.
No. And you know, if your church is anything like my church, it trying to save electricity, so it's no to the AC being on. You got to have that old school granny fan.
Oh my
You know what I
god.
mean?
Oof.
And yes, Lord, let them use
Sweating.
you. And like, no, Lord, give us a breeze.
Please give
Give
us some
us a
ice
turn.
water or something. My
Right,
grandma used to bring the
exactly.
ice water to church with her, and her water, like her purse had an ice water bottle. Oh
Oh
my
my
gosh,
God.
because it would be hot a little
Oh,
bit. Oof. But who are some
oh, but
artists that inspired you? I know in the last interview on Instagram you had talked of Prince, but who are some other artists along with Prince that have inspired you?
oh man, that is a really good question. So, did I? I did say Prince. Okay. Um, Phil Collins is always going to be my number one because he's the reason why I started playing keys and um, learning how to play keys or not. So my mom had bought me this keyboard, and I remember I was listening to Phil Collins, and I just learned the chords that he was playing off of this tiny little keyboard, and it was one of my favorite songs. Um, so Phil Collins is always going to be number one. Uh, let's see. Hans Zimmer. I don't know if you know Hans Zimmer, but he does a lot of the music for the movies we watch.
Huh.
Um, so he's a amazing composer. That's all I would say. He's an amazing composer, and he does a lot of. I get a lot. I'm influenced a lot by his style when it comes to like putting certain instruments together. I'm not just talking about like beats or anything. I'm talking about like actual instruments,
Hmm.
violin, orchestra stuff or not. So um, he is he is like top up there. We did talk about Prince. We did talk about Michael Jackson and his team.
Hmm.
um, his team. Um, I don't know if you're familiar with George Clint, but um,
George who? George Flint?
Clint.
Oh, George Clinton, yeah. Oh, you mean the dude from
So
Parliament?
yeah,
Oh, I've been calling him George Clinton.
yeah, Clint.
Oh,
Or
okay.
I'm sorry, um, or mainly Bootsy Collins, but
Oh, that's my
I,
go.
I
I ain't gonna
like
lie. I first found out about George Clinton through Boosie Collins because I just was such a big fan of the way he played the bass.
yeah.
Hmm.
That's where my wife still today says I'm one of her favorite bass players, and I'm like, well, that has to come because of this crazy dude right here wearing a diaper on the stage.
Oh.
playing bass. Um, let me see. I do have some other artists that y'all probably wouldn't even know, but like there's a couple of bands, um, like one of the biggest bands that influenced me to get to the part where I'm at right now. One of the bands is called Under Oath. Another band is called Thrice, and another band is called Emery, which is it's weird because I named my first son after that band named Emery
Mm.
or whatever. I went and I saw their show, and I was just like, oh my gosh, the energy that they put in the show, and the way they moved, the way the lyrics came out, the way the vocalist was singing left and right. It was something else. If you have time, I do encourage you to check out, a
Hmm.
couple of those bands. And you can be like, oh, okay, I get your style now, and I see where you get it from, and stuff like that. But you can see a lot of the influence from them or whatever. So that's where I'm at right there.
Cool. And so when did you start taking music seriously?
So I started taking music seriously. I began playing music at like big time. Excuse me. Man, excuse me. I've been I was taking music seriously. I would say probably 12, where things was really pushing in. It's like I'm no longer just diddling on the keyboard or playing drums or playing a bass. Like 12 is like, all right, I'm being pushed into these other churches, to start. Hey, we need a drummer here. I can play drums. I can play drums. You know what I
Hmm.
mean? There we go with the church again. But yeah, I play drums, and if a drummer doesn't show up or something like that, I'm like, oh, please call me, let me, because I can't wait to get up there and just do all the roles and all that other kind of stuff. So, uh, but yeah, I started taking that serious like 12, and then it didn't really start taking off until I would say around 15, 16 when I got my first paycheck.
Mm.
And let me see. Yeah, it was me and my brother who is right under me, so he would be number two. We got offered to get paid $1,400. No, no, no. I'm sorry. 1250. Um, no, it was 1400. That's right. That's right. It was 1400 uh, every other Sunday. So he played the keys. I played the keys as well, and sometimes I'll go back and forth on drums. But we played for this church, and this church, like literally, is like, yeah, we want to pay y'all. Y'all are y'all are amazing. Um, which, if you fast forward all the way up to now he's a Grammy winner. You know what I mean? And plays and write for Kirk Franklin.
Mm.
You know, um, so and TD Jakes, and I'm not going to name every person that we not every person, uh, but yeah. So that started taking place. You know what I mean? Like I said, around 15, 16. Excuse me, man. Around 15, 16. Um, that's where it's like, okay, like we can actually make money with this. And of course, we're teenagers at that time, so we do the dumbest stuff, and we start spending all our money on clothes, trying to date people, and and fancy them with yeah, we got this, we're doing this, and all that other kind of stuff. So, but that was when I did started taking music seriously.
Yeah, when the money starts coming in, it do make you want to start taking music more seriously. Trust.
Hey, when you get the help, help mama pay the bills and stuff like that. It's like, yeah, you know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like, hey mom, here's something, here's something for, rent or electricity. Oh, get yourself a little something nice too.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And stuff like that. So, well, shout outs to my mom because my mom is this beautiful woman who, my God, she raised us by herself. You know,
Mm-hmm.
after my father and her got divorced, she raised us five boys by herself.
Oh my God.
She was the one that invested heavily, 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 into our music and everything. Mom, I need this, I need that. I got to work an extra shift for this, and blah 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 that and all this other kind of stuff. But she was there. So, but yeah, we. That's when I started taking it seriously.
Dope. And so after you started taking music seriously, when like what was your very first recorded project? Like professionally, or it don't have to be but your very first just recorded project.
So project was working on something for myself, of course. We all get the. I started working at this store called. I don't know if y'all have this there in your area, but it's called Kroger.
Yeah.
And okay, okay. Kroger's been around for a long time.
I
So,
just went
but
shopping there the other day. Yeah.
yeah. So I started working at this store called Kroger. Man, it's like, excuse me if my talking this that's just that MS stuff, just
hmm
weird.
I was like, I
Uh,
thought it was pollen. I'm like, that the allergies been getting to me.
nah,
Oh,
that's been getting that got my youngest daughter,
oh,
and it might be what's going on with my son, but
mm,
I don't know. Let's all think the muscles in my tongue or something like that. But
oh,
anyway, constricting or however you call it, constricting, contract. But
mm-hmm,
I started working at the store called uh, Kroger, and I saved up enough money to buy my own real keyboard. Something like I could really record on, and not just here's a I'm recording this and it's a cool track, but like I can start doing multi tracking on
mm-hmm.
this keyboard, and I can load in sound cards and all this other kind of stuff, on this keyboard and have my own sound and stuff. So I saved up a lot of money to get that. Of course, in correlation with the keyboard that my father, one of the keyboards that my father gave me, which is a classic, which is worth a few $1,000s now or whatever. At that time, um, it was just a regular. To me, it was like, oh, it's a Yamaha or whatever. But coming to find out, it's like a Yamaha um, DX7 or something like that. But it's like, dang, But I went and bought my own keyboard,
Mm-hmm.
and I was able to record on that. And not only that, this is where you probably don't know about this, but I mean, you probably do know this. Um, the very first Cakewalk sonar came out, and that's where like I started. I can record my vocals and stuff like that, and do like all these kind of sound effects and everything like that with
Mm-hmm.
Cakewalk sonar, and then Cakewalk sonar became Cubase, and everything else just started
What? I didn't
going.
know it became Cubase.
No,
Cause
no, I'm not saying that they are. That's where Cubase came
after them.
after. Yeah, there you go.
Cause I was
It
like, I
came
started
after.
off with Cubase 6 or 7.
Oh,
I don't even
wow.
think I have. Hold on. I doubt I still got it. It's somewhere. Oh my god, I still
I,
got it.
I
I had this.
started out with three.
Yeah, I was like, I
So,
had Cubase Artist Production. I don't even know. Okay, this ain't even no number on this, but this was the one I started off with when I was like in 8th grade. I was like
wow.
12, 13 years old.
See.
Man,
Yeah, we. we got a lot of similarities on there. But that's where I went out and bought my own program, learned how
Mhm.
to do it, spent hours and hours, and then from there I learned how to just maneuver around things. So I know I'm probably gonna start answering one of your questions when I say this, but that's how I started. Because of all of that, and the progression of how I was, doing things, and I started getting clients. Like you start getting people who come in from school.
Mhm.
They'll come in and, oh, can you do a track like this? Can you do this? I want to do. And from there on, it started turning into, well, hey, I'll do this for you if you give me some money, or first, buy me my lunch.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? And then from there, you know what I mean? You start tacking on more prices and stuff like that. Well, I
Mhm.
got to do something for this guy over here, and now I got to do something for this person over here. So either you're going to have to wait, or you're going to have to pay me more money. And hey, we're young. You know what I mean? we're
Yeah.
we're in high school, so like we're trying to get the dollar. We're trying to get things done.
Mhm.
So that's where that came from. I started from there, and then that got me, as time progressed, it got me a little higher in the bigger leagues. So um, I'm probably jumping ahead of you right now when I say this, but that's where, as time went on, I started working for a dude named Zeno, and he put me, and I worked at his studio. So I became his studio engineer slash producer.
Mhm.
Whenever he had clients come in, I was the one behind the boards, controlling everything, and recording and all that for his artists that he brought in, his
Mhm.
clients. But he ended up putting me in with some other people who really trying not to do a lot of name dropping, but because his name is prevalent right now, I'm gonna say, like, he put me on the phone. He's like, I got somebody who I want you to talk to. You know,
Mhm.
I want you to meet this person. And that actually ended up being, I was on the phone with P Diddy
Oh, dang it.
himself.
I was hoping you wouldn't say
Yeah,
that. Oh my God. Okay.
but
Jesus.
yeah, I was on the phone with him. Uh, we talked, and like, 'cause I was wondering, like, why does this dude keep, not him, but the owner of the studio, who was in connection with Dr. Dre's entourage, and whatever else you want to call them, the people that work with him. But why is this dude always, he has his phone, in the speaker, or towards the speaker, just, why are you doing that? Why are you showing out my beef like that, or whatever?
Mhm.
But that ended up coming to getting Diddy's attention. When he got Diddy's attention, it was like, yo, I'm actually on the phone. He was one of my uh, heroes back then, or
Mhm.
whatever, just because business wise. And the dude actually bought 3 tracks from me.
Wow.
And I don't know if he ever used it. He could have just bought them, sold them, whatever. But the fact that he bought them from me was just like, yo, you know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
that literally just starts clicking things. Like, okay, I do have a talent. I
Mhm.
mean, not, I have a talent that can, at that time, get stars, ears, and have them, yeah, this is dope, blah blah blah, this and blah blah that, or whatever. So that's where I'm like, all right, I'm going to push even harder.
Mhm.
Um, and then me and my brother, we had a thing with Destiny's Child. I don't know if you remember, if you know Beyonce, hopefully you know Destiny's
Dude,
Child.
that was my group.
Okay.
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 I
Cool.
was
Cool.
supposed to
Cool. Cool.
say
Cool.
like I mean I know I was like a little kid though. I was like really little. I was like
Right,
just
right.
born. But
Like I said, I know these are like old time
yeah,
names and
I was
people
born like
Destiny what
98. Like I
and
know of
stuff,
Destiny
but
Child's Lord.
yeah, that one, and still today, me and my brother, we still talk about this time. Uh, their manager who hooked up with our manager wanted to fly us out to New York and do some stuff with them, and we were going to be gone for a good amount of time. But my mom was just like, "No, y'all are still in school. Y'all have to finish school." Me, I'm just like, man, F school, blah 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 blah, and all
Hey, I'm
this other
trying to get
kind of
this
stuff.
money,
But
this music and money.
right, I I, I need this. I want this. I want I want to hook up. You know what I mean? And start showing them like, oh man, we can write the baddest of tracks and all this other kind of stuff. But it didn't work out like that. My mom was like, school first.
Mhm.
It didn't hit hard until like she found out who Destiny Child was, and so on and so on. And you could kind of see it hit her a little bit too, like when she found out like how big it was and how real everything was, and
Mhm.
like yeah, we missed this opportunity right there. You know, that was going to be, we like I said, me, my brother, my mom, we still talk about it every now and then.
Mhm.
It's like, dang man, that was our not just our foot, our whole backside in the door. Like
Mhm.
we were in there. But hey, blame it on school, and that's where at that time I switched from only did 2 years in high school, and then I finished the rest of my high schooling in homeschool.
Mhm.
We literally switched over to homeschool just in case anything ever was to pop off again and stuff like.
Mhm.
Cause I'm going after that.
Yeah.
We were going after that.
Man.
So but yeah, that's just to throw a little bit showing you like this is how we really started taking stuff seriously.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, y'all had
Yeah,
more than enough reason to start taking stuff seriously, honestly.
yeah,
And I will
yeah. Oh
say
yeah.
back then, like, even working with Diddy, because even when I was a kid growing up, like, just being, like, a big fan of music producers, like, my favorites were
Right.
Kanye West, no,
Hmm.
hold on, let me go back. Timbaland first,
Yeah.
Quincy
I,
Jones, Kanye West, and then Diddy. And then I found out I was like, Diddy don't really be making the beats, but
mm-mm.
he does have a good ear for music. I never seen him make beats.
Yeah.
I never seen footage of it. You could look up Timbaland, Quincy Jones, or
Yeah.
Kanye West and see them in the
Yep.
studio on the keyboard. Different stuff. I've never seen Diddy do any of that. But I
Yep.
was like, he do have a good ear for music though. I will say that though.
Timberland is one of my top producers.
Yeah.
Well, he will always be, always be.
Yeah.
Anybody who's creative and has, I hate to say this, but has the balls to step out and be like, I want this crazy sound. It's not
Mhm.
going to make sense to you, but when it all comes together, your head will be
It's like literally like
popped.
cooking or like he's like the Bob Ross to me of like making me.
Exactly.
I love Tim, like he's my number one favorite.
Exactly.
And can't forget about James Brown. James Brown, he's up there
Yep.
too. I may have
Yep.
to put
Yep.
him at number 2. I may have to move Kanye West. Yeah, I got to switch that
Ooh.
around cuz James Brown, he just
Oh,
oh no.
really?
Oh no, cuz
No,
I
no, no,
just
no. I'm just saying if you want to go that far, then you might as well get Barry White up there too.
you Barry
Then
White for
because
real? I need to look
man,
more into his music cuz I mean I've heard his music.
Barry White can put an orchestra team together and just oh my. Okay, after this, I know we kind of talk, in the background and stuff like that,
Mhm.
but I need to start sending you some of his stuff
Please.
and like and if I know you got the stuff, hey, sample this and sample that or whatever,
Mhm.
but I want to show you some of the stuff that I sampled from him.
Cause I only sampled one song
And
from him. He got some good music, but I haven't heard a lot of it. So please send it.
I got you. I got you. you're gonna just be thrilled. And I'm not talking about the stuff that's just that everybody knows.
Like
I'm talking about,
mainstream.
yeah, not the mainstream. We talking about background stuff.
Cool.
You
That's
know,
what I'm looking for
like,
because,
yeah, our people is freaking geniuses
hmm
behind the scene.
you
You
can't
know,
forget
it
Isaac Hayes.
oh my gosh. If look, I'm not going. We're not gonna start shooting back and forth.
Yeah, because we'll go back and forth and like start naming people, but Isaac Hayes is really
Right.
good.
This is going to be, that would be a long sitting down talking with. But seriously, our people are some geniuses behind the scene, behind, and a lot of people don't even know, like, a lot of the stuff that took place of how to get them to where they were, and their musical career,
hmm
and how what they have done, not just in the foreground but in the background, shaped a lot of the stuff that we have today.
hmm
So yeah, I'm glad that you're in tune, or is that the right word? In tuned with some of I know my words are like coming out crazy,
hmm
but I'm glad that you're in tune with some of these with some of these artists.
Oh yeah, you gotta
From
go back before you can go forward. Like a lot of people my age, like they'll look at like the producers now, and like I know
yeah,
with me growing up, like I know a lot of producers like it's like Kanye West and different people there, and Jay Dilla. How could I not put Jay Dilla in the? He's okay. I may have to put
yeah,
him up there with
yeah,
Timbaland. Anyway, anyways,
yeah.
people like Jay Dilla and Kanye West, they would sample a lot of artists, so I would find out about the older
Hmm.
artists that they would sample and look deeper
Right,
into those artists. And Quincy
right,
Jones was an exception because I mostly learned about him through Michael Jackson, being a big fan of Michael Jackson growing up, and then Quincy Jones, like listening to the people that he would mention in interviews, I would start looking up those people, and that's how I get further into jazz music and stuff. But it's
right,
a whole
right,
rabbit
right,
hole
right.
with it.
Now that's the thing where man, uh, a lot of people don't understand where, like, a lot of the people that they listen to now in the present
Sample
was
somebody.
inspired from the people back in the past, and but
Mm-hmm.
those people back in the past was inspired by people they came up watching
Exactly.
too. So it goes all around. Or what do they say on the Lion King,
The
the
circle of
cycle of
life.
life,
Yeah.
circle of life, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, same
So
thing with like Chuck Brown, them. They be talking about Dizzy Gillespie. I'm like, let
yep.
me look up Dizzy Gillespie. You know what I'm saying?
Man, don't get me started with. Yeah, all right.
Yeah.
We I'm
Yeah. Mm.
we not gonna
We
go
not gonna.
there.
I was
We not
like,
gonna go there.
but
Adrian Young. Uh, I don't know if you heard the Luke Cage, um, the original Luke Cage soundtrack, whatever. But since we're talking about like sampling and stuff like that,
uh huh.
whatever, he his stuff would sound like sampled, but um, he he makes the samples himself.
Mhm.
He'll take the stuff, and the stuff will sound sampled, but they're not sampled. It's his own recordings that just makes it look like, hey, I I made this sound like a sample, but it's not really a sample.
That's kind of
And
like
he played.
Daptone Records. Like everybody on Daptone Records, they be
Hmm.
recording like music now, but it sounds like something recorded in like the 60s or 70s, but it's recorded today. You got to check out
Right,
like so like
right.
Charles Bradley, different people like that. Rest in peace to him, but he was like recording like recent music, but it just sounds like it was sampled from back in the day.
Yep, that's exactly how they do it. I think I got a gig one time just by doing that. The company, I'm not going to name it because we're kind of at beef right
Mm.
now, but they paid me, what was it? It was, hold on one second. I
Mhm.
think they paid me like $5,000 because no, they it equaled up to $5,000. So I guess you split it down in half, but because they came back for more.
Mhm.
But I I was trying to sell the track, and but I wanted it to sound old school because they wanted something that sounded like I sampled something.
Mhm.
I'm like, well, I can't get the rights to. This is way back then. At that now, I know how to do it now, but back then I didn't know anything about like getting rights to use people's music and it's you know. So I went on and just recorded everything myself. Like I
Mhm.
recorded the 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 keys, the vocals, the old school drum sound, and everything. And then you take all that, you put it all into whatever you use to sample with, and then you put the effects on there. Take out a lot of the lows, make everything nice and bright, and put the grid on there, and it sounds
Mhm.
like you straight out running a vinyl.
Yep.
But all of that when I got my first that 5,000, I just put like that. When I'm like, oh, I can really do this, and it will sell. Who is that you're sampling? Oh, me.
Mhm. Yeah.
No, but where'd you get the sample from? Me. What? You recorded that? But yeah, here's the actual originals right here. You know what I mean? And, bro, you are so creative. All right, we got to get you. You know what I mean? Do
Mhm.
this and do that and all this other kind of stuff. So, uh, but anyway, that's why I was naming who I was naming it.
Yeah. Like, oh my God. Like, please send me his music too. I want to check it out because I love like when people make music today but make it sound like it's from back in the day, if that makes sense. Like they got the vintage
Oh,
sound to it and stuff.
you're going to flip out when I send it to you. Please don't let me forget to send it to you
As
because
soon as we finish this interview, I'm gonna make sure send me. I'm gonna say Barry White and the other dude.
Barry White. Okay, I got you.
Yeah.
I got you on. I got you on Barry White. Yes, sir.
Um.
Yes, sir.
Also, oh, sorry. But what year did your first project came out, or like around what time did it come out?
Oh my gosh, sis, I can't even. I don't even remember.
Mm.
Honestly, I can't even recall that exact that year. All I can say is like for the, are we talking about the one we're talking about the one that I did for myself, right?
Yeah.
Uh, all I could say was I was in. I had to been like 17.
Mm.
No, no, no. I had to been 16. Between 17 and 16, I'll say that. I my family. I don't want to say my family. My family took me up to back to Evansville, Indiana, to record everything that I was doing, producing, and all the other kind of stuff professionally uh, in Indiana with a guy who's has been around, who knows the game and all this other kind of stuff. But they took me and my brother out to Indiana to record with him, and I mean, dude passed away now. It sucks that a lot of our people pass away because of drugs and stuff,
Uh,
but he it that hurts really bad. But anyway, we went out there and we recorded and everything. We even had my mom sing on one track. She came out
mm.
there on another round and to finish it up, and she came out there and sung on the track. I learned a whole lot about that too. Being behind the SSL and everything. Where um, just for the people who don't know, it's like these big old boards. With the mixing knobs and stuff. I'm trying to make it to where everybody can understand.
Mhm.
But most time when you go to the studio, you see these big old boards and everybody's behind, all these levels and faders and stuff like that. But yeah, that's where I learned, a lot of that stuff. You
Mhm.
know, going out to Evansville, Indiana with my brother D Busy. Shout out to my brother D Busy. Um, and we learned a lot, and that project, I can't remember what year it got released, and it wasn't even
Mhm.
professional release, but it was just like, hey, we got a CD out. our pictures on the CD
So you would say it's
and
like probably like
everything.
in the 90s, like mid to early
Right,
90s.
right,
Hmm.
for sure the '90s,
Okay.
for sure the '90s. You know, so I I don't I and I'm trying not to give my age out either. So, but yeah, we
What's
were
the
way.
wise one? The wise one.
I'm just, I'm just being, you know, being careful. I just
Hmm.
feel like that and everything. I don't want people to be like, oh, that makes sense why you have like all this brain fog and you got a lot of years of
Like,
playing and
no,
stuff.
I just, be dealing with other stuff because I'm 25, still dealing with it myself.
I got you. And I'm like, no, it's MS. It's all of it's MS. It's not my age. It's MS.
Yeah, because I
You
mean, like,
know.
you got people like, that are like 90 something that got the best memory. Like, say, like, my great grandma, she's 98, and her
Right.
memory is like on point. She remembers stuff from like a little kid. I'm over here trying to remember what I did yesterday. I'm 25.
Right.
I'm
Right.
like,
Like, look, sometimes I have don't tell my children this, but sometimes I have to like, they say I forgot how what's the saying, but when it comes to like tying your shoe, like I would tie my shoe and I'm like, no, I did not tie it right,
I didn't
you
loop
know.
it the
And I
right
would
way.
have to do the bunny ears
Yeah,
and everything like that. Yeah,
dang
and
it.
it might be because I'm like tying my shoe on the stairs or something like that.
Like you're
But still,
overthinking it when you're looking at it, but if you just do it without thinking about it, it's like you get it.
exactly.
Like, oh man.
Exactly. And I mean, like I said, it could be because, I'm doing it on the stairs or I'm doing my shoestrings are so long, so it's like I gotta double double tie it,
Yeah.
what I mean, and everything. But that's why I switched over to, I like just my little slip on shoes and so
Same.
on and so on.
I
But
love the
they're
Adidas slip-on shoes, like tennis shoes, just slip them on. Good support.
right.
Uh,
Right. My doctor is saying like some of the shoes I wear are not good for me, you know. Um, Especially, I hate to make this an MS thing or whatever, but
hmm.
with you having MS, you have a hard time. You have a hard time walking and stuff
Oh
like
yeah.
that. So you gotta have the right support, And just
For
for people who
balance.
don't know, yes, I have MS. I say it now. Back then, I was kind of shy to say it, but I'm kind of like in this thing now to where like I can say
Yeah, it's like
whatever,
once you're more
you know.
educated on it, you feel like you can say it more and like know what you're talking about. Because it's like
Exactly,
when you
or
don't want to say you got something, you don't even know what it is.
exactly. Hey, when I first had it, was like I was pronouncing it all wrong. It was like scoliosis and all this other
Yeah.
kind of stuff. And my wife is just like, you don't even know how to pronounce what you.
Look, it's
And
a
I was
tongue
like,
twister. It is a freaking
right,
tongue twister. Like for those of you that don't know, we both have MS, and that was actually gonna be the next question I asked. Was like, ever since you've gotten diagnosed, it's wow. Me and you both got diagnosed around the same time in 2023. I got
Mhm.
diagnosed the first week of August in 2023. Oh well,
Wow,
no, my bad. That's when I was in the hospital. I didn't get diagnosed with MS officially until August, late August,
gotcha.
once all the test results and stuff came back. But I was gonna ask, like, what is it like being a creative person, like a music creator with MS, and how has MS affected you in a positive and negative way? Ow, something about,
So the negative way, excuse me, the negative way is when I first got the message and all this other kind of stuff and figuring out what's going on with my body. I literally stopped everything,
mm-hmm.
everything. I was in the process of building my studio, and I, um, I hate to say this, but I broke down. I broke down. I was like, "F life. I'm tired of this. I'm tired of blah blah blah. All the thoughts what people were saying about me behind my back. Oh, he's always tired. He's lazy. He always gets sick and all this other kind of stuff. Those started circulating through my head, and I was like, man, I didn't even have MS. I didn't know I had MS at that time, but it made sense of why I was always getting sick, why I was blah 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 this and blah blah that, and putting that with everything that people have been saying behind my back and stuff like that, it kind of formed this. I say I kind of went into depression a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like I'm not doing music ever again. You know, and I literally said I'm not going to do music. I dropped off on my clients. I had a connection with I don't know if you know who this country artist is, but he's really big. His name is Kane Brown,
Oh my God, yeah.
and
Sorry, I got
uh,
excited.
huh?
I said I know of him. I got excited. Sorry.
So I was on right before, literally right before that. You know, one of his people came out to me. And he was like, "Yeah, we want you to, you know, write some stuff for him." And I got this whole catalog of music just still today, literally just for him.
Mm-hmm.
You know, but I said I'm not doing anything. You know, I ain't even finished building my studio and all this other kind of stuff. I literally went into depression. But the cool thing is, from depression, I got myself motivated. You know, I started like reading the the Bible scriptures. I don't want to get all like religious or anything, but
Mm-hmm.
I started reading like Bible scriptures that talks about how you can heal your body and stuff like that. So I started turning my little what do you want to call sad state into a good state, you
Mm-hmm.
know, and
Negative
I
to
started building
positive.
myself. I got everything pretty much uh, built back in the studios. Now I did lose that connection with King Brown, and just to hear his new album out now, that kind of like I'm kind of kick myself in the butt, like you big idiot. You know what I mean? That was you right there. You know. But the cool thing, the positive side on that, you know, after I said I'm going to come back and start producing and doing music again, I was able to take some of those the tracks that I wrote for Kane Ron. I was able to sell them to NBC.
Ooh.
So I got some placements
Mm-hmm.
on NBC, which was it's like a nice little cash flow. You know what
Mm-hmm.
I mean? With back in my pockets and stuff like that. So it's like that's cool. From NBC, I
Mm-hmm.
got more tracks that moved over to CBS. And I think we're still waiting on the paperwork and all that stuff as of right now.
Mm-hmm.
Literally right now. We were just talking about it yesterday. Waiting for the paperwork and everything like that to to go through. You know, that's going to be even a little more money in my pocket. And it's not about money, but then again, you do have to pay the bills. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
because as you know, our medicine, I'm on
Lord have
medicines.
mercy. I was like,
I'm on, it costs
I gotta order some
a
more
nice,
today.
right?
Oh my God.
It's a nice, pretty penny, you know. And then our neurologists, they cost MRIs
Oh my
cost, you
God.
know, I think like I said, my MRI costs like $8,000 just for one MRI, you know.
And you got the CT
And it's like
scans, spinal tap.
exactly
Oh my God.
right.
I just got some more. I gotta
All
do an
that's
EMG Thursday.
oh Jesus. Okay,
Did you get
see,
one? I've never gotten one yet.
I had EMG, A something G is like an MAG, but they focus on your brain. It's not your heart, but your brain,
Mm-hmm.
or vice versa. You know what I mean? So, and I got pictures
Mm-hmm.
where they put all these little stickers and stuff and wires and stuff like that on your head
See, that's
and
what the
everything.
EMG is like. Not the EKG, that's with your heart, but the EMG is like they
Yeah,
connect it to like your arm, like your nervous system. And they like
yep,
up the
yep,
voltage or something. I'm like, I've never had it before, and I'm like, I don't want to be
yeah.
electrocuted too many times.
It, I look crazy. I look crazy with all this stuff that they had me hooked up to. My wife took pictures or whatever. I'm like, if you post it, we're done.
Oh Lord.
You know, what I mean? Don't do it. But yeah, they that's how they found out. Oh, you be having seizures and stuff like that. You know, and that's why I'm on like all these seizure medicines and
Hmm.
other stuff too. But anyway, um, uh, I went into a depression state, got myself together. Now today, as of right now, I'm back being creative. We're getting things done. Um, I'm shooting music videos.
That's
Doggone it.
oh man.
All right, say, Saul, move your big feet. All right, that's my fault. I'm sorry. I think what happened. You remember that cord I was telling you I was looking for?
Mhm.
Yeah, I think I plugged it up next to my other lightning cord from my phone,
Ooh.
and it kind of moved it or did something to it. So, all right,
But we're back. Back in action.
we're
S-
back at it.
let's do got pretty much two more questions.
Yeah.
So last or second to last one. Um, okay. How many projects do you have out so far?
A lot. Well, no, no, no. Are you talking about personally? My personal project?
Yeah. Along with, I mean, if you
Well,
want to mention other people, you can, but just your main projects.
okay, I'm gonna backtrack just a little quick.
Mhm.
I'm working on two personal projects right now. Um, three. I'm sorry, three. I'm sorry, three. Uh, so right now, as of right now, my wife and I were working on a project. It's already finished. It's been recorded. This is actually an album that was picked up by Warner Music
Mm.
way back, and we never signed it just because we got um, from my old manager a long time ago. He was like, "Hey, there's a bunch of red tape on here. You're going to be owing money as soon as your name hits that contract. As soon as we sign, stuff
Mhm.
like that." So we never signed, uh, and we actually end up going on with our lives. As far as we're just gonna take time and chill for a little bit and raise our daughter, who we ended up getting another child. And then 10 years later, after that, we ended up getting two more children. And it's just like been, but a couple of days ago, we were just, sitting there like, hey, what's with the project? Are we ever gonna, do something with that? It's just music hanging out there.
Mhm.
So said, hey, let's record. I mean, not record. Let's wrap it up. Meaning, like, let's finish the album art. It's already copyrighted, so we don't have to do the legal stuff as far
Mhm.
as that. You know what I mean? But let's get everything, make sure everything is nice and polished, and put it on out there. So that's what we're doing as of right now. We're going to release that. If you don't mind if I put in a shameless plug in
Oh, please do.
so the my wife and I, we go by the name of Safe and Shekinah, and we're in it's a rock project. It's a rock project. And we been doing this project since, I want to say, 20 2013, 2014. The
Mhm.
album was done way back then again. And so um, it has some time to, I guess you can say, gel together and
Mhm.
everything. But we're putting this out because we have too much music on our feed where it's just laying there, and we got to do something with that. So I want to encourage everybody else out there too who just have music laying around. Just put it out.
Yeah.
Put it out. Don't let you might be inspiring somebody else, with your project. Just like the people from back then, Barry White didn't know he was going to be inspiring Lord Saul. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I mean? He didn't know that, but he just put out his stuff. And here we are at these times of days or in the latter end, and it's like, oh man, this is amazing. He can bring tears to your eyes just listening to
Mm-hmm.
this stuff. Again, I'm going to send you some of his stuff.
Thank you.
um, um, and then I have another project outside. So last year I just released, or lately, December last year, I released my album. So we're letting that flow a little bit, but I have
Mm-hmm.
this new album that's coming out. It's called Invoked Disclosure.
Okay.
Um, and I'm not gonna say it's not so friendly. I'll put it like that. It's going to be talking about a lot of stuff that a lot of this a lot I can't talk.
Yeah.
A lot of the stuff that was going on, while I was going through or getting myself together, dealing with MS,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not cheesy or anything like that, but you're going to actually be able to hear the real thoughts that's been going. Remember, I was telling you right before the camera cut off.
Yeah.
I was going through a depressive mode. But I had thoughts, I had questions, I uh, lost a lot of friendships, you know, and so on and so on. But on this album, it's going to be very dear to me, because you really get to see, like, no, Saul doesn't have it all together. He's human just like everybody else, and
Mm-hmm.
the thoughts are natural. It's what you do after. You know what I mean? You have those thoughts. It's what you do
Right.
after that. Are you gonna sit there, lay there, and die, or are you gonna be like, no, I'm better than this? And those who ran away, hey, I'm still here.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And I'm still here. I'm still swinging. Um, and that's how we rock and roll. That's how we in my household we rock and roll. It's like,
Keep
just
it
keep going.
pushing, you know?
Yep, 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 yep.
But are there any words of wisdom you would like to leave with the audience? Wise
Oh
words.
man. Ex- okay.
But no, I ask
So
everybody
I
this,
think
so.
no, no, no,
Okay.
no. I was just gonna say that is the last. That is my last statement right there, or what I would want to put out to everybody is just pretty much keep swinging, no matter what. Keep swinging.
Mm-hmm.
Keep swinging in life, no matter where you are at in life. Keep swinging. Keep swimming. My swinging is more of I'm throwing my arms around, trying to stay afloat. You know, because the moment that you stop is the moment that you start to drown. You
Mm-hmm.
know, but who knows? Just that little bit of you keep swinging, swimming. Who knows when that lifeboat is going to come around? You don't want him to be there too late, so you got to keep swimming. You got to keep swinging. Don't stop. Wherever you're at in life, do not stop. Do not give up.
Mm-hmm.
There is hope at the latter end, you know. But you're only going to get there if you keep swinging, if you keep swimming. That's anyway. Keep swimming. Don't stop swimming. When you see the
Consistency.
land, keep going. Huh?
Oh, it's like consistency. Just keep on going.
Consistency. Consistency. You gotta have consistency.
Mm-hmm.
Pace yourself. Don't
Yes.
try to be to all these knucklehead musicians and producers and stuff like that. Of course, we all want that big check and stuff like that, but consistency is going to happen. We didn't come into me and my brothers. We did not come into this just, oh, we're going after the biggest dollar and we're just gonna blah 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 blah. It took a lot of tries and a lot of fails.
Mm-hmm.
It took a lot of getting back up and reprogramming ourselves and going over the map,
Mhm.
stuff like that. It takes that. But those who just go straight out running stuff like that, you will wear yourself out, or you will find yourself running into trouble.
Mhm.
You know, and I'm not going to name names, but there are a lot of people who got themselves in trouble just by using samples that they shouldn't have used, or they skipped the process of paying taxes that they were supposed to pay taxes on when they got their big checks. All that,
Mhm.
you got to pace yourself, have the plan, and then attack.
Yep.
Don't don't just it's my check. Don't do that.
No.
Don't do
You got to pay people.
that.
You got to do your taxes.
Exactly, exactly. I have to. I just found out I had to pay some taxes from something we didn't know. But I had a check that was sent to me, and it's like, oh yeah, you that one didn't get reported. It's like, are you serious? What we gave you all of this? Yeah, we got all that, but this one has to be reported. So they doing something called a audit, something, whatever. I'm not in trouble or anything like
Mhm.
that, but
Kind of like a
they
tax
so
audit
where
stuff type of stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
a tax audit, and
Mhm.
I'm still learning what the technical is or whatever. So, but they're like, yeah, if you have that, and if you have receipts for blah 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 this year, you will be able to deduct uh, there will be a deduction. You
Mhm.
know what I mean? So where I don't have to pay so much because, but it's not even a lot of money.
Yeah.
Talking about like $10,000. It's it's nothing. It's nothing. You know, but yeah, if you don't plan, then you can get yourself in trouble. If you
Mhm.
don't do things in moderation, or if you are too hasty to do something, it probably gets yourself into trouble. So
Mhm.
anyway, that's where I'm at. I don't want to like hold you or anything like that and turn this into a whole positive.
Get into
uh,
taxes and stuff. TurboTax, H&R Block. No. But
right here, I'm gonna go get my tax hat on,
yeah,
the little
and the
green,
glasses.
and pull out my calculator and
Yeah.
everything. But nah, it's that's pretty much just what I got to say for my last words of this. Is just to keep swimming, keep moving forward, because the moment you stop, you start to drown.
Mhm.
That's just don't stop. That's how it goes.
And could you state the platforms that you're on so people can follow you on and keep up with your music and stuff?
Yeah, this is where I'm trying to put myself back into this, but I'm heavily no, I take that back. I'm on Instagram. um, you just type in Lord Soul or Lord.Soul. Excuse me. Also, I'm on Facebook. I'm what? I have a Facebook account. Everything I post from Instagram just goes to Facebook, but
Mhm.
I'm not really on Facebook like checking everybody's messages. Or I probably should get on there because I'm pretty sure I got a crap load of people just blah blah this and blah that. But I am on Facebook. Um, I'm on what other? Oh, I'm on Twitter. Not
Mhm.
Twitter. TikTok.
X.
That's
Oh,
what.
never mind.
Yeah, I tried to be on Twitter or X, but I can never figure it out. I'm
Me
so
neither.
old school. I cannot figure it out. If it doesn't say type post, cool. Then whatever.
Mhm.
I do have an account. I just don't know how to use it, so I'm not there. But if you want to say something on Twitter, be my guest. Eventually, maybe one day, I'll figure it out. And then you can also email me at Saul at Third Tree Productions, or Third Tree Productions. I mean, Third Tree at Third Tree Productions. If people want to, am I doing this selfish thing or shameless mention or anything like that?
Mm-mm. I mean,
Okay.
yeah.
If people want to hit me up or try to get beats, music, uh, live instrumentations or anything like that, they can also hit me up at Third Tree Productions, which is info at Third Tree Productions. I check those all the time. I'm always there, just checking emails, just because doing stuff with radio station, sending out, music and whatnot. So, uh, but yeah, those are the platforms that that's on.
Cool. And what's your TikTok username?
It should be Lord Saul, or if I'm not mistaken. Let me look at it. I'm 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 rarely on there, but I do hold that account. So like I just got on there as of last year. For the longest I've been like fighting it and saying, no, I'm not getting on TikTok. Everybody dances and I don't dance. I don't do this. I don't do that. But they were saying that because of my album, me putting out albums, they're like, that's gonna be another way to win some people over
Mm-hmm.
and stuff, to get them to check out your music. So there is a couple of posts that I'll have on there that I was to TikTok, and yeah, it should be Lord Saul if I'm not mistaken. Uh, says that I logged off because I haven't been there. See, so but it's Lord Saul. I'll just
Cool. Awesome. That's the
yeah,
interview though. That's it.
yeah.
Was just one night of bliss.